Welcome to the podcast, man.
Hey, man, appreciate you having me, man. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, man, we just gonna jump right into it. What's your talent, man?
Man, well,
What's your gift?
It all started, man. Honestly, I think I got a couple gifts, more than one talents, but
Okay.
I think the main one was basketball.
Right. Okay.
This basketball game I've been playing, man, for a long time. I'm 36 now, so I've been playing for over 30 years.
Wow.
And I got a chance to finally ask my mom a few years back, man, what age was I when where you knew I excelled? And she said 2.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And that's saying something, because I look back, I look now at my kids, man, and most of my kids, my 3 out of 4 kids, hadn't picked up a ball when they were 2.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. And they all turned out to be really good.
Yeah,
right. Even at the game without picking the ball up before I did. So I just kind of put it in perspective, like, man, I picked the ball up at 2.
Right.
And she said I was dribbling pretty fluently. And at that time, man, I just knew it was official. You know what I'm saying? That was it. And I was kind of meant to play basketball.
Yeah.
If I wasn't meant to play, I was meant to be around the game and use it for other things. Maybe share my gift in other ways. So.
Yeah. That's a good perspective. So you say 2 years old, man. That's pretty young, man. But we know from examples, like, the younger you do it, it seemed to be, you get better. You seem to be better than your peers.
Yeah.
Case of, like, you say maybe Tiger Woods or somebody, or I think he picked up a golf club at a young age, and other basketball players, they talk about they was dribbling at a young age too. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of similar.
I mean, yeah, more than likely, man. The earlier you start, you get a jump start. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I figured when I was growing up, elementary, I'm a cocky guy, but I probably was a year better than my peers.
Yeah.
And that means to me, they didn't start dribbling until they was 3.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I kind of had a jump start, man, and it's just a select few that don't pick up a ball until later in life and still somehow make it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was actually watching an interview, Ahmad Rashad interview Joel Embiid. He didn't start playing until he was like 16. And that's unheard of.
That's crazy.
And to be as good as he is now, because they said, because he's probably like 26 right now, right?
Yeah.
So they said it's amazing, like, 10 years later, you're this good when you just started playing.
That's amazing, man.
Because I think he played either baseball or basketball first. Soccer, not basketball. I think he played those 2 sports. He's from Africa.
Yep.
So
it's pretty popular over there.
Is what?
Soccer, I'm thinking, is pretty popular.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right though. And it's something I was just watching that like a couple of days ago. So yeah.
I mean, same thing with Michael Jordan, man. I mean, I think he started playing, but he didn't get good. He got cut from his high school team, tried out for the varsity team as a sophomore.
Right.
Got cut. That says a lot. So
right.
Yeah.
9th grade got cut.
Oh yeah, it could have been 9th grade or sophomore year.
Yeah.
Where he tried out for varsity, I think it was. I think that's the whole story.
He tried out for varsity.
A lot of people keep it to the best player in the world has been cut somehow. Yeah. But he tried out for the varsity as an underclassman. Got cut from varsity. And then he ended up playing JV or freshman that year. I think they just said he wasn't ready. So
see, they don't mention that story all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe they come out on that movie, The Air.
Probably.
Maybe they come out a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Okay, man. So let's go back to, like, when you first started, when you got into that thing, like basketball. Like let's walk us through that, man. When did you first get into basketball?
I think from where I remember.
From where you remember, yeah.
It was my elementary years, man. I had to be around 2nd or 3rd grade, and we was staying in Saginaw, and every day after school, man, I would go to the park and it's a packed house. And you know, you got guys that I remember that made it big D1 and also made it to the league. You know, a guy named Anthony Robeson.
Yep.
I remember him.
Shout out to Pete.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Pete, man. I remember him from Saginaw, man. And he was a little older than me. I want to say 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So that's one guy I was looking up to, man. And I just got to watch him, you know, in the flesh and see how good he was and kind of, you know what I mean? I was young, so I wasn't really comparing my game to his, but, you know, just seeing like, man, I could do some of the same stuff he do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he 2-3 years older than me.
Right.
So a lot of it, man, just kind of started the ignition started right there, being in Saginaw, man, and grinding every day, man, just going out, like I said, to the park and just being around basketball itself was great.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that probably was one thing. And then another thing is, you know, I always remember playing my big brother one-on-one.
Oh yeah.
This really ignited me, man. This was set the fire on me and set me apart. He used to always say, you know, let's play one-on-one, and I'm like, man, I'm better than you. I know I am. Like, you can't do what I do. And he used to always beat me. He used to always beat me one-on-one, and I couldn't take it. I didn't like it. I was always competitive. And I said, man, I got to figure out a way to beat this guy.
Yeah.
And like I said, I always can dribble better. I was a better shooter.
Yeah.
I was quicker.
Yeah.
So I had to start to not only use my brain, but physically get stronger.
Yeah.
And I used to say, man, all you gonna do is post me up and try to shoot over me, you know, because I was a little smaller, I was younger.
Yep.
But like I said, man, he pushed me to be better in ways he don't even know, you know what I mean? It's like a real shout out to him. He pushed me to be stronger and also guard bigger players. Yeah. I had to learn how to guard bigger players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was a big part of basketball. That was a big part of my game.
Yeah.
Is I could be a combo guard, but on the other end, if I'm playing the two, who can I guard?
Yeah.
So with that being said, guarding you growing up my whole life, guarding 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't much of nothing I couldn't do.
Yeah.
I felt like I can guard them because I've been guarding the post all my life. I've been small all my life.
Yeah.
And not only that, I've been getting my shot off on bigger players my whole life. So a lot of people ask, man, how do you do it? You got this natural fade to your shot and I can't block it.
Yeah.
I say, well, when you as small as I am and you're an elite scorer, you have to learn to get your shot off on taller players because more than likely you're going to draw the best defender. And the best defender is going to probably be a little taller than me, might be a little more athletic than me, so I had to learn how to get my shot off on taller people. So I've been kind of doing it ever since then. And
wow.
Yeah, it's just become effective.
Wow. That's cool. Yeah, man. It's like you had a chip on your shoulder almost a little bit.
I did. And you know, a lot of people need that.
Yeah,
you need that chip. You know what I mean? Because you got to find ways. Because everybody born, I ain't gonna say everybody's born the same, but you're not a robot or you're a human when you're born. So right. You got to find ways to be better than the next person. Because it's millions and millions of people after the same dream as you. Mm. So you got to be able to, you know, separate yourself. And if that involves having a chip on your shoulder, then that's what it is.
Right, yeah. That motivation.
You got to have the motivation.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Okay. Something to inspire you to be better. So
far, basketball, what are some of the things that you have done in basketball? Like, you know, you play elementary, like what levels have you played at and what else have you done? Talk a little bit about that.
I think I played at pretty much every level. I haven't played at the NBA level, but I have played against NBA players.
Yeah.
But it started off, like I said, playing elementary. And like I said, I was kind of always better than my peers. So when it came to 6th grade, I I was at Steele Middle School and we didn't have a team. And it was just so much talent in the sixth grade at that level. I mean, at that time that they made they were either gonna put me on the seventh grade team or make a league for us sixth graders.
Okay.
And that's what they ended up doing because I think it was like it wasn't like legal for me to play on the seventh grade team.
Oh, okay.
So they made a sixth grade league for us sixth graders, man, and we got after it.
Across the county?
Huh?
Like it was across the county?
No, it was actually held at Muskegon High School.
Okay.
Yep, so it was held at Muskegon High School, man, and it was fun, man, and I remember it like it was yesterday.
Wow.
So then, you know, you get into seventh grade and eighth grade, we just kind of turn all that talent into representing our school, which was Steele Middle School at the time, and we had like the best record that Steele Middle School had seen in years.
Yeah.
We played the Heights twice, I want to say twice a year, and they end up beating us one time. We beat them, and then we beat them in the championship game.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of stuff, man, like that I remember. And then you're talking about getting to high school. Like I said, I always thought I was a little better than my peers because I put in that work. So it's a funny story. A lot of people don't know this. So I averaged about 27 as a freshman on JV. And I actually wasn't chosen to move up. I wasn't, the
JV.
Coach didn't come say, you're playing JV. You know what I mean? That's how it usually is. They come to you and say, you're gonna play JV or you're gonna play varsity. I'm moving you up.
Yeah, because you're that good.
Because you're that good.
Yeah.
But I think coming out of middle school, I had real good handle and I was real quick, but I think it was a few things I needed to get better at. And I was a little smaller still.
Yeah.
So I didn't get that call. Though I told myself, I'm not playing freshman. I said, I'm playing JV.
Yeah.
So I went to the coach and I said, when trials. And the coach was Bernard Laudermill at the time. And still my guy to this day. But he told me what he said, man, you know what, if you don't make it, I don't know how you're gonna go back down to freshman. Usually if you don't make a certain spot on the team that you try out for, you get cut. I was like, well, I'm willing to take that chance. I'll be at trials.
Yeah.
I mean, literally come to trials, and this was after, like I said, my 8th grade year, I was a little smaller. I grew a little bit going into my 9th grade year.
Okay.
And so I go to the tryouts, and I mean, I'm literally destroying everybody.
Yeah.
And he's just looking like, where's all this coming from, you know? So, long story short, I end up making the JV team, being a starting shooting guard / point guard on the team.
Okay.
And like I said, being the best player, like lead my team.
Yeah.
You know, as a freshman, that nobody really expected to see doing it.
Yeah.
I averaged 27. I had a 37-point game. I had a 40-point game.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So it's always been against all odds for me, and I always seem to beat them just because of the necessary work I put in and the chip on my shoulder from my big brother. So
Yeah.
So then I go sophomore year, I transfer to Muskegon Heights and end up playing varsity my sophomore year.
Yeah.
I got that call though. That time.
Yeah.
They told me you moving up. There wasn't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what I'm saying? So I got that call.
So your sophomore year, you playing varsity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
Right.
my sophomore year, I started right out on varsity at a high-powered school at the time.
Yeah.
Heights was known for basketball, man.
Yep.
I got the call, you know what I'm saying? And I remember to this day, Eddie Spencer, he's probably the best player on the team at the time. And during tryouts, he was usually the captain.
Yeah.
And his first pick every time was me.
Wow.
And I mean, as a sophomore, you know what I mean? You got all these other guys that you could have picked, you know, his peers.
Yeah.
But he came and he picked me every time, man. And usually we ran the boards. So
Yeah.
So yeah, then that sophomore year transition to a junior year where I was the 3rd or 4th leading scorer, and then it transitioned from my junior year to my senior year being the first top leading scorer, which, you know, it don't me being the top scorer don't tell the whole truth about how good our team was. We had chemistry, man. We had depth, a lot of depth, man. So a lot of people chipped in with other points and other ways where, you know what I'm saying, it's unsurmountable. So shout out to my 05 team, man.
I was gonna say, yeah, y'all was deep.
We was deep, man. We ended up making it to the championship that year, going to the Breslin, and that was a beautiful experience. Well, actually, my sophomore year, we made it to the Breslin too, and my junior year, we made it to the Breslin, and we lost all three. But that senior year was special for me because, like you said, it was my senior year. Everything that we worked up to do in high school is right in front of you.
Yeah.
A lot of sacrifices with practice and minutes during the game because we were so good. You know, I might not play as much this game, but just the sacrifice of being good and for the better of the team.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went to the championship and we ended up losing to South Christian in the championship, man. But it was a great experience because, you know, people look at it like y'all lost. But at the same time, it's like a lot of people didn't experience it. A lot of people didn't get to do what we did.
Right.
So I'd rather take a loss and go and then not go and not experience it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We went to the back with the reporters. We sitting at the podium. They asking us questions, man. You know, we got real college professional feel.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. You know, so to keep going, and I had a couple Division II scholarships. I had one Division I scholarship out of high school. Long story though, I had a kid and ended up staying in Muskegon and playing at the JUCO level.
Yeah.
And it was a lot, man. It was sorry about that. My phone ain't never on. It's always on property. But it was a lot because I had a kid that year, so it was almost like my priorities had to change.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed around Muskegon where I could be a part of his life and him growing up. Something I don't regret, you know, but I do look back at it and say, man, where would I have been? You know, everything happens for a reason. But to get back into it, me and his mother at the time, we were both trying to do a few different things as far as going to school.
Right.
So we didn't have no babysitter. So it was times where I had to take my son to school with me. It was times where I had to take him to practice with me and have my coach's secretary watching while I ran sprints, you know, while we practiced. So it was deep, man. And long story short, I ended up playing my first year, and then I was behind a guy that had been a third-year player there because he redshirted. And my coach told me at the time, I went to my coach, I said, Coach, why I'm behind this guy? I'm killing him every day at practice. I'm killing him, like literally. And one thing that he told me that always stuck with me was, he said, I see you as a Division I player, but what Division I coach gonna recruit a 5'9" shooting guard? I said, man, that's deep. So I went back. He said, I need you to be a point guard. You be a point guard first, and these schools gonna be knocking down the door for you.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that always stuck with me. And I go back, I look at some film back in high school, and I said, man, I should have made that pass. I should have made this pass. I should have went right, should have went left. And I kind of see exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah.
And me knowing the game now, he was exactly right. You know what I mean? It was a move I should have made, and I wish I had somebody translate me back then when I was young.
Yeah.
Because now the game comes so easy, man, and I see a lot of things that I wish I would have seen when I was younger.
Yeah.
You know. But now that I played at the semi-pro level, that was fun. Real high scoring, real competitive. Yeah, man. And then you talk about AAU back in high school. Like I said, that was where I played against some pro players. Then when I became about 26, 27, I started playing in some tournaments around Michigan, and I ran into a couple other pro players that was playing. So it's been fun, man, just to compete and see everything at the highest level.
Yeah.
So
Wow, man, that's great, man. Experience, man. Then, well, I know you've done some coaching too.
Yeah. I actually coach. My coaching debut actually came when I didn't even expect it to. I came at about, my son was 5th or 6th grade, and he was playing in a league, and something happened to that coach, and I was next up, and I said I'd do it. You know what I mean? So it started right then and there with the love of coaching. You know, because I started coaching my son, and it was just me getting to see him grow as a player and a person. It was amazing. So after that, I started to see that I think I had a lot more to give other than basketball. Other than me playing basketball.
Yeah.
It was still a part of basketball, but me just sharing my gift in other ways and sharing my knowledge with kids that need it, you know, to further their game. Because like I said, I look back and I wish I had somebody to kind of mold my game like I feel like I can mold other kids.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Early on.
Yeah, early on, yeah. You know what I mean? Where the fundamentals are crucial.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The fundamentals are crucial. So yeah, man, I ended up coaching at my alma mater, Muskegon Heights, for 7 years. And I think I changed a lot of kids' lives. And as far as the winning and the loss column, man, you know, I was always above 500. So I think I did pretty well. I got to see a lot of different players, a lot of different talent, a lot of different parents. So you dealing with all type of different things, man, that you kind of juggling. And actually, I never had an issue with a parent in my 7 years. Never had, you know, and that's kind of saying a lot, you know, because I think I treated everybody fair. Mm-hmm. The expectations was high. I did expect a lot out of my kids, but they always treated fair.
Yeah.
And I think the parents respected that.
Yeah. So I want to go back on something you said earlier. Well, you know, you said something about the first person to like kind of notice your basketball gift was mom. So, and that's the thing. Like parents are, you know, they're one of the first people to like see our gifts, to notice our gifts. Right. And I mean, it should be because, you know, we spend a lot of time around them. And, you know, if we're paying attention, then, you know what I mean, we notice those things. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, talk a little bit about how, you know, your parents, talk about that. How your parents played a role in your basketball development, your development with basketball.
I mean, I think in my situation, like you say, you know, ain't no telling if she put the ball in my crib. Like we kind of didn't get that far in the conversation, but I'm sure she put the ball in my crib, man, and it just kind of took off from there. But I think the biggest thing with mom was her letting me be free, as far as me being 3rd, 4th grade, letting me just go to the park, you know, trusting me to do the right thing, knowing that I'm going to play ball and just handle my business. You know what I mean? She never took that freedom from me.
Yeah.
No matter what, you know what I mean? Even if I was to get in trouble or anything, like she knew what my love was and what my passion was. So she never took that freedom from me as far as me going around the neighborhood at different parks and playing ball. And that was big, man. And I actually
shout out to moms.
Yeah, shout out to moms. That actually was when I first noticed that she actually was a ball player.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Played at Muskegon High School, man. She was a point guard as well. So yeah. So I think her love of the game, the little love that she had for it, I don't know how much love she had for it, but it just kind of transitioned into me. You know what I mean? And I thank her for that. You know, because basketball, man, has been a huge part of my life, part of my kids' life, and basketball has taken me to see different things and different people and make connections that I wouldn't have had without it.
Yeah. So, talk a little bit about where has, I know you mentioned a couple things, but like what are like some of the things, like some of the places and some of the things like basketball has taken you?
Yeah. So when you're talking about AAU basketball, most of the time you're doing a lot of traveling. Especially, the better your team is, you get invited to Kansas, Kentucky, Vegas, Florida, Texas. So you get invited to some of those places, man. And I got a chance to go to Florida. Again, shout out to moms, man. We weren't the richest family growing up.
Right.
I know you hear this from a lot of basketball players, but it's true, man. You had to grind, to get stuff for your kids because that's what they want to do or what they love, and you want to help them push and pursue their dreams. And that's one thing moms did, man, was help obviously put food on the table at the same time, buying me sneakers.
Yeah.
I had a mean stop and go, so all my shoes had a hole in them in the same spot. So she had to buy multiple pairs of sneakers each year, and that cost money. It cost money.
Yeah.
So it ain't no telling how some of the times she did it, but she made it happen.
Yeah.
And going back to your question, we went to Florida, and that kind of was she made it a family trip.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Went to Florida. I believe you was there.
I didn't go to Florida.
So little Anthony went.
Yeah.
Me and Anthony and moms, and we stayed in an Airbnb, real nice spot, man.
Oh, they had Airbnb back then.
Yeah. It was either Airbnb or just, it was a house. I know it was a house. So, with a swimming pool in it, man.
Yeah.
It was nice, man. And that ain't cheap.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? That cost a lot of money, man. And I just
high school
for that. And that was in high school. So took me to Florida.
I remember South Bend, Indiana.
South Bend, Indiana.
What's that famous Speech House?
Speech House. I mean, you come across a bunch of good players there all the time.
Yeah.
Actually, one game I had there, we were down like 10 with like 3 minutes left, and this game I had like 40, and I had like 13 points in the last 3 minutes, and it was some big time D1 scout watching there, man, and he ended up talking to my coach about me. But that's another story. But that's just a speech story, man, speech story. But also my basketball took me to Las Vegas, and this was later on in my career where I was trying to probably pursue something overseas or this is when I was playing semi-pro.
Okay.
I got invited to Las Vegas, and
I think I remember that.
My beautiful wife, she sacrificed half our honeymoon for me to be there and do that. Shout out to Mandy. So I've been to Vegas, I've been to South Bend, I've been all over Michigan, Kentucky, Florida, lots of places, man. But I do want to say probably my biggest and most important place I went was Jamaica.
Yeah.
And that just came from, I was basically handpicked to go to Jamaica, and that came from basketball because the whole mission, the whole vision on that mission trip was basketball and reaching people to Christ through basketball.
Wow.
And with me having a great background with basketball and growing up in church and people knowing that I was a people person and knew how to talk to people, I got the opportunity to go to Jamaica, man.
Wow.
I'll never forget it. I made friends, and one friend in particular that I talked to probably 2 years after that. After I met him, we was talking all the way up, and kind of lost touch along the way. But yeah, man, it was a beautiful thing. And I just want to say, I want to thank moms and everybody else that played a part in me pursuing basketball and having a career in it.
Man, that's what's up, man. Wow. So, okay. So, and you said Jamaica was like the most important. Wow. And because you using your gift to more directly like serve people.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. To know God.
Yep. Not only influence, but like you say, serve.
What was their reaction to y'all playing basketball over there?
Oh man, we had a lot of good feedback, man. A lot of good feedback, and some of the guys, man, we found out they love to play and they could play. They just didn't have a lot of the resources. And a lot of it's something as small as shoes. Some
Wow.
of those guys want to play barefoot, man. Yeah, they want to play barefoot, man. So
that's how much love they have.
That's how much love they had for it. You know what I mean? Wow. Us going up there, man. I ended up giving. I brought. I was there probably a week. So I brought a lot of different pair of shoes, man. I ended up giving away shoes, man, to some of the guys, and just seeing the smiles on their faces and the appreciation.
Wow,
it was second to none. It was second to none. Yeah, it was all love, man. So we ended up, like I said, they didn't have the resources, so we ended up putting up basketball rims, man. We put up some basketball rims down there to where they had it, because like most of theirs, like it was one court that we went to where they had the rim and the net, no backboard, or it was a lot of places where you got to walk a couple miles to get to the next rim, so we put rims in between those places, man, so people didn't have to walk too far, man, and had extra rims down there. So it was a blessing. It was good. It was cool.
Wow. So, man, what's some of the what's some of the life lessons you've learned from basketball?